What if I told you that some of the most jaw-dropping machines on the planet quietly roamed our streets decades ago? And most people didn't even notice? This immediately triggers curiosity and surprise. Starting with what if I told you makes the audience feel like they're about to learn an insider secret. Its parks intrigue viewers want to know which cars and what made them jaw-dropping. Why do crowds still stop in their tracks when a rare vintage muscle car rolls into a car show? This line adds visual imagery and suspense. The viewer imagines the reaction of people at a car show, evoking nostalgia and admiration. It keeps the curiosity alive. Building on the first sentence. How did these chrome-clad beasts, with engines that could roar through the city like thunder, become legends that almost nobody remembers? Here we combine sensory detail with mystery. Words like chrome-clad and roar give a vivid picture, while almost nobody remembers adds the emotional hook of regret and scarcity, making viewers want to know why these cars were overlooked. And why do collectors today kick themselves for not snapping them up when they were sitting in plain sight? Introduces regret and FOMO, fear of missing out. It makes viewers feel the weight of history and scarcity, emotionally engaging them and encouraging them to keep watching to learn what was missed. This is the story of America's forgotten ledge, the classic cars that defined an era, powered a generation, and shaped the muscle car world we know today. Confirms the topic and transitions into the main story. It adds dramatic flair and nostalgia, while setting the expectation for learning something meaningful. Back in the late 1950s and 60s, American streets were alive with possibility. Highways stretched like ribbons across the country. Families piled into station wagons and sedans. And cars weren't just machines, they were identity. Establishes historical and cultural context. Viewers feel transported to the era. Emotional triggers nostalgia, pride, and relatability. The imagery of highways stretching like ribbons helps audiences visualize the scene, increasing engagement. Each grille, each fin, each engine note told a story about who you were, what you had, and where you were going. Personalizes the story, making viewers relate emotionally to the era. It reinforces that cars were more than machines, they were status and identity, keeping the audience invested. Some cars, like the Chevrolet BelAir, Ford Thunderbird, or Pontiac Bonneville, were all about style, comfort, and pride. But beneath that elegant chrome and sweeping lines, hidden power was waiting. Introduces specific examples to give credibility. Builds suspense by hinting at hidden performance. Creating anticipation, viewers want to know how these stylish cars could surprise people. Engines designed not just for speed, but for dominance began quietly transforming the way Americans drove. It was the start of something bigger, something that would eventually ignite the muscle car revolution. Explain significance. Adds storytelling with historical impact, making viewers feel the importance of these cars beyond aesthetics. These machines weren't flashy in the way modern supercars are today. They didn't scream for attention. They glided, they purred, and then, when you least expected it, they unleashed a rumble that made you feel alive. Sensory description. Emotional triggers, thrill and awe. Short, rhythmic sentences make it cinematic and keep viewers imagining the moment, enhancing retention. People underestimated them because they looked too polished, too refined, too normal. But inside, every big block, every turbo thrust engine carried a heartbeat that demanded respect. Creates contrast and surprise, showing these cars were underestimated. Emotional trigger, respect and pride. The repetition, every big block adds rhythm and emphasis. And the design? Pure American audacity. Chrome that caught every ray of sunlight. Sweeping tail fins that pointed to the future. Interiors that felt like jet cockpits with sweeping gauges and polished trim. Vivid visual storytelling. Emotional triggers, nostalgia, keeps viewers visually immersed and emotionally engaged. Sitting behind the wheel wasn't just driving, it was commanding an era. Every turn of the wheel, every press of the gas pedal, reminded you that freedom had a sound, a weight, a soul, personalizes experience, evokes freedom, pride, and emotional connection. The sensory words sound, weight, soul deepen immersion. Collectors today will tell you the stories of cars that were overlooked, undervalued, and almost lost to history. Cars that were cheap in used lots, dismissed as yesterday's news, or chopped up for parts. And yet, those same cars now command admiration, envy and respect, adds regret and redemption arc. Emotional triggers nostalgia. FOMO, keeps the story moving by contrasting past neglect with present respect. Seeing one of these machines today is like stepping back in time. The roar of a V8 echoes decades of history, pride, and human ingenuity. The way it moves, the way it shines, the way people react, it's proof that some things never lose their soul. Cinematic sensory storytelling. Emotional triggers, pride. Nostalgia keeps viewers engaged with visual, auditory, and emotional cues. These classic American cars, these vintage muscle cars, these forgotten legends of us cars, aren't just vehicles. They're reminders that style, power, and heart can exist in perfect harmony. Reinforces theme and CO keywords naturally. Emotional cues admiration and respect. The repetition emphasizes importance. And that's why these cars matter. Not because they were the fastest, not because they were the flashiest, but because they captured an era, a spirit, a moment in time when driving was freedom, and every road felt wide open. Emotional climax, pride, nostalgia. This line ties the story together. They teach us that real legacy isn't about fame, it's about the impact you leave behind, even when no one's watching. Philosophical reflection, emotional trigger inspiration, leaves viewers with a meaningful takeaway. If you want to see more legendary cars and their stories come to life, make sure you subscribe. Natural call to action. Gentle, non-intrusive. Emotional trigger curiosity and desire for more content. Ends on a high retention note.